wasn't sure if it was gonna be like.
Oh no, and don't worry, we're like all about having fun, so no worries here.
I'm Aaron. I play drums for Hawthorne Heights.
So we've been asking everybody, what do you think of Warped so far?
It's fun. It's really fun.
Hot.
You know, very hot. Today's not bad. Today's like.
It's like amazing. Yeah.
Definitely like the best weather we've had so far. The crowds every day are insane. I'm trying to think what else. That's the best part about Warped Tour are the crowds. And then the second best thing is hanging out with other bands. A lot of bands we already know, but we made a lot of new friends on this tour. So that's really fun. The crappy part about Warped Tour is the heat.
Yeah.
And you never know what time you're gonna play, so you always got to sort of like keep your schedule flexible, so you never know when you're gonna be able to go eat, and then you might have to come back and play right afterwards. It's a whole mess.
I was telling them like literally like this is my first like Warped Tour ever, and this is like my schedule, and it's so crazy. And I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, 4:30. I'm thinking like, how do you guys do it? It's so insane. Like I was going crazy because I literally haven't left this.
You know, some days aren't nearly as bad as others. There's days where like we don't ever get to go back to our bus because we're doing things non-stop, and we like to stay out there in front of our fans as much as possible. So there's days we'll do like 2 autograph signings a day for an hour each, and like you know.
That's nice that you guys do that though. I think that's awesome. That's what I like about Warped. You can kind of meet like bands that you might not get to at like headlining shows because they kind of just leave after.
Yeah, well, we try to do that at all of our shows. You know, sometimes there's time constraints where, you know, our bus has to leave right away because the next city is really far away. Like tonight, or last night rather, we were in Pittsburgh, we had to drive all the way up here. All the buses, like pretty much like half the bands got here late.
Yeah.
All the stages got here late, and yeah, so pushing everything back. It happens, you know.
What's been your favorite stop so far?
Favorite stop? Wow, let me think about this. I'd say Cleveland. We always do really, really well in Cleveland. We played in this, it's called Tower City Amphitheater. It's huge, and sometimes you play kind of early in the day, you never know what to expect. Sometimes people aren't really warmed up yet. But this show was amazing. It was like under this huge covered amphitheater, and it just went back like really far, and it was packed for us. It was probably like 7,000 people in there, and they're all going crazy. It was absolutely insane. We had the biggest circle pit that we've had on the tour so far.
Really?
There were these 3 guys that were like totally trying to heckle us and stuff, and it was hilarious because the one kid would crowd surf up to the front and he'd be like flipping us off, and then and it was over on Matt and Casey's side, so they were like, come on, you know. So this kid comes back, you know, crowd surfs back up, and he's flipping them off, and they all like have big mouthfuls of water, and as soon as the kid gets to the front, they're like, and the kid was so pissed, but it was awesome.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that day was incredible. It was one of those really, really hectic days. Right after that, we had to go over to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because there was a Warped Tour exhibit there. Fuse and MTV were doing a bunch of stuff over there. And while we were there doing all these interviews, like all hell broke loose at the venue. Like it just poured, it hailed, tents were flying all over the place. Like it was insane.
Like stages get ruined.
Yes, like everything got ruined.
Telling us, they were like, it was crazy. Like the kids were running everywhere.
Yeah.
Like tents flipping.
Oh my god.
We sort of like, we got done with our interviews, we came upstairs out of the Rock and Roll, and we were like, oh my god, it was still raining like super hard. They were like mopping water out of the building because it was coming in.
Oh my god, Jesus.
But it was really sweet. We got to play early, so the crowd was amazing. Nobody had, you know, left because of the weather or anything. And yeah, it was a sweet day.
What's your favorite song to play live?
My favorite song is probably This Is Who We Are. It always gets a really good crowd reaction. It's a little more interesting drum-wise than some of our other songs are. Fun song.
When did you start drumming?
I started drumming when I was a freshman in high school.
Have you been in other bands too?
Yeah, I've been in tons of bands. Ever since I started playing to now, I was in a band of some sort, whether it was just for fun or we actually serious and play it out. Shows. I mean, I grew up in the mid '90s in the hardcore scene in